That's the thing about ceremonies. This is another thing a lot of people, they don't tell a lot of people, but it's kind of obvious. Ceremonies are not for the, a ceremony is a performance. So it's not for the performance, it's for the performers, it's for the audience. The wedding is not for the groom and the bride, the wedding is for the audience. The funeral isn't for the dead, the funeral is for the living. No one tells us this. No one tells us this, but deep down, if we stop and think about it, we know this. You know this? And so he's looking at it from a romantic aspect. He's saying to himself, like, yo, I don't want to be sleeping in different rooms and having side relationships and not speaking to my spouse. Just sitting at the dinner table eating breakfast like like we goons in prison. You know what I'm saying? No, he's thinking to himself, I don't want to do that, right? And me at my age, at my big age, I'm looking at marriage like, well, who do I want to spend the rest of my life with? And do I really need to get married in order to do that? Right? That's how I'm looking at it. So depending on what generation you're at, you look at your perspective on marriage is going to be different. We're having a conversation about the traditional family, right? What is the traditional family? And a lot of that has to do with the propaganda of the American dream, you know, that's been kind of passed down upon us. It's always been a concept of, you know, man, wife, boy, girl, and the dog, you know, with the picket fence, right? And so everybody, in order to keep up with those Joneses, you know, all throughout the decades, a lot of people, a lot of couples just stayed together, and they took pride in sticking together. You know what I mean? To stay together. A lot of the societal pressures that were on people back then aren't on us today. You know what I mean? And this is why you'll have people on the internet complaining about quote unquote modern women, right? And yeah, you're miserable, but you have a duty. You have a duty to your spouse, right? Even me saying that right now and saying it the way that I'm saying it, it just eeks for some of y'all. It's like your skins are crawling right now. You're not used to it. You're not used to someone talking to you this way. But people of those eras, those more survivalistic eras, were accustomed to that. You know what I mean? Depending on if you're watching this, depending on what generation you come from, you've heard this before. You've heard this talk before from some of your elders, whether they were baby boomers or Gen Xers. More than likely baby boomers. Gen Xers is sprinkles. Like if it's like early Gen Xer, like someone in their 50s, then yeah, you've probably heard that before. But someone in their 40s or less, nah, not really. You know.